Alright, it's finally time to dive into the 1099A process and reveal some key insights. I've held off on discussing this topic until now, but after working quietly behind the scenes with a few trusted colleagues and partners to actually put this process into practice, I feel ready to share a bit more. That said, while I'll be giving you an overview in this video, I'm not yet ready to offer any public-facing services, such as consulting, related to this process. Once my business partners and I have more concrete results, I'll be more comfortable stepping up and assisting others with it. For now, I simply want to walk through the process and provide some clarity, as I believe it should be more widely understood. However, there's one important point I need to emphasize above all else: please don't let greed get in the way. Why do I say this? As we'll explore, any misuse or overreach with the 1099A process is the primary threat to its longevity and accessibility. If this process is abused, it could quickly undermine the opportunity for everyone. It's a simple yet powerful tool, and with responsible use, it has the potential to benefit many. So, what is the 1099A process? What does that even mean? This channel is about helping you acquire life skills that allow you to end your debt slavery, set yourself free, and reclaim all of your rights under natural law. More specifically, it's about reclaiming rights that are being usurped by the commercial tyranny of governments and central banks. However, it doesn't have to be that way. The creators of these systems knew they couldn't get away with actual involuntary servitude, so they had to include a remedy, hidden in plain sight. In other words, you can legally opt out if you can figure out how to do it. They are not going to tell you anything. They left it up to us to discover the remedy for ourselves. In the case of the financial and banking system, the remedy is that, since the ability to pay off your debts with money was removed in 1933 through House Joint Resolution 192, which became Public Law 73-10, the ability to pay your debts with actual money, gold and silver, was replaced with the ability to only discharge all of your public debts using another debt. In other words, pay off your IOU with another IOU. That is with the Federal Reserve notes, which are IOUs from the Federal Reserve Bank. There are certain processes in place that allow you to do that now. You can discharge all of your debts effectively when you incur debt to acquire the basic necessities of life such as housing, food, shelter, clothing, transportation, health, and medical needs. You now have the ability to acquire these things and discharge the debts while still compensating those providing the goods and services. It may be difficult to grasp initially: how can you discharge all your debts, yet everyone still gets paid? But with some study, it starts to make sense. We already live in a world without actual money, and what backs everything more than anything is us, our reputation. The concept of reputation as currency is well represented in the TV show The Orville, created by Seth MacFarlane. While I may not agree with every perspective on the show, it does an excellent job illustrating the idea that reputation could be the new currency in the future. I feel that we're already moving toward that reality, and I've staked my reputation on teaching these truths and principles. Understanding that we are the security backing the currency is crucial to grasping how and why these processes work, especially with the 1099A. Some of you may have picked up on the fact that I'm referring to a U.S. Treasury form, a tax form. You might wonder why we're even discussing these forms if taxes are voluntary, which they are. The truth is, to interact with the United States Treasury, we must use these forms, as they are the only way to execute some of these processes. We always use these forms without prejudice, according to UCC 1308, meaning we accept the benefit of being able to discharge all our debts but do not give up any rights under natural or common law. Understanding that we are the security backing the currency is crucial to grasping how and why these processes work, especially with the 1099A. Some of you may have picked up on the fact that I'm referring to a U.S. Treasury form, a tax form. You might wonder why we're even discussing these forms if taxes are voluntary, which they are. The truth is, to interact with the United States Treasury, we must use these forms, as they are the only way to execute some of these processes. We always use these forms without prejudice, according to UCC 1308, meaning we accept the benefit of being able to discharge all our debts but do not give up any rights under natural or common law. We use forms 1099A, 1099 OID, 1096, and 1040 volts specifically for this process because, until we're given another way to do it, this is what we have, and it works. You may also use Form S-56, which provides notice to the Treasury and the IRS of a fiduciary relationship, or trusteeship. Another form authorizes the Treasury to deposit funds directly into an account, likely used by trustees to avoid receiving funds as a check. What is the 1099-A process, exactly? Form 1099-A is titled Acquisition or Abandonment of Secured Property. To meet our needs in life, we need to acquire property because we live in a physical reality. To survive here, we need things like food, water, shelter, clothing, and transportation. To fully enjoy life and our rights under natural law in this physical reality, we need to acquire property. In natural law, property is extremely important. In the context of 1099-A, we're talking about the acquisition or abandonment of secured property. Property can be tangible or intangible, according to the form's instructions. This means you can use these forms to acquire both physical and intangible secured property. The security behind this property is our own value as living beings. When you sign a negotiable instrument, you create currency. We are the security backing the currency and credit, and that's why banks would allow the United States Corporation to pledge us as security for unlimited credit. So, in a nutshell, the 1099-A process allows you, as the beneficiary, to acquire things you need for life with the help of a trustee, using credits from a trust. However, you can't just reach into this account as if it were a bank account. The trustee files forms with the Treasury to obtain the funds necessary to acquire property on your behalf, using the 1099-A and related forms like the 1099 OID, 1096, and 1040 volt payment voucher. These forms let the Treasury know of the fiduciary relationship, essentially authorizing the transaction. When you execute this process, you must understand why and how it works. The key message here is, don't be greedy. There have been people who have figured this out and used it inappropriately, such as acquiring multiple properties to start a business solely for profit. This process is meant to help you acquire what you need to live, not to exploit for profit. If too many people misuse this process out of greed, it can ruin it for everyone. Be prudent, and always make responsible decisions. Acting as a trustee is no small matter. Trusteeship requires putting others' needs ahead of your own, something that many people struggle with. Selfishness, or putting oneself first, is often a sign of ego-driven behavior. For this process to work, you need to keep your ego in check. I invite you to explore this process. Once I have more details, I'll be enthusiastic about sharing them and perhaps even helping others as a trustee. This video is mostly about introducing the process and reminding you not to be greedy. When we all start to act responsibly and look out for each other, the same system that seems to enslave us can be turned around and used for everyone's benefit. Don't end the Fed, do this instead, use the existing process in a moral way. Sure, we could protest the Federal Reserve, but we could also use the current system properly to everyone's advantage. Look up 1099-A, do your research. Together, we will walk this path, unlocking ways to end debt slavery and achieve sovereignty and unlimited potential as human beings. Thank you for joining me, and I'll talk to you very soon. Take care.